Hey, Blockchain Bernie here. This is my second video about the Solana TPU/TVU. So I've already had that video of the TPU, the Transaction Processing Unit. If you missed it, it's right here. And this video is about the TVU, the Transaction Validation Unit or Verification Unit, however you might want to have it. So for all that, in order to put all that into perspective, let's dive just right into it. So here we have the anatomy of a validator, and we see there's the TPU here, the transaction processing unit, but it also here on the right-hand side, after the block has been produced, it goes downstream to the other validators and will be validated there, right? So let's just check out a diagram of the transaction validation unit here. So that's the subject of this little video, right? So we have the upstream validators, right? They have already either the upstream validator is just another validator that has just produced the block, or it has gotten the block from the block producer, the leader, and then it was already validated by an upstream validator, and we need to validate it as well, right? So we get that block here from upstream validators, and it goes into the validation unit, right? So it fetches some shreds, and shreds are just parts of a block that was produced and is about to be verified. And we verify the leader, signature, all these type of things. There is a retransmit stage so that it goes out to more validators. There's a replay stage where the actual verification and validation is taking place, right? And here in the replay stage, we need to know whatever the leader did to produce that block and have that new state there, was that actually correct, right? So that's how transaction validation works. There's more to it because Solana is very innovative in how all these shreds and blocks are being propagated to all the downstream validators, so that when we have 2,500 validators, as we have now, it doesn't happen one after the other. It also doesn't happen all the way in parallel, because that puts a high load on the bandwidth and everything. So they do it basically in like a binary tree, not a binary tree, but a tree fashion. It's quite innovative, so that would be the subject of another video. But what's important here is each and every validator in the TVU is replaying the transaction, right? So if there was code involved, smart contract code, to create the block by the leader in the first place, each and every other validator will be replaying that. And replaying means they execute the same code for themselves and see if it leads to the same result. And then after that, they vote. And through that voting, you know, only if it's been voted for and hasn't been voted differently for like a certain period of time and a certain number of blocks, then the transaction will be confirmed, and then finally it will be finalized, right? So that is all the cool stuff. But talking about TVUs and transaction validation, what does that all mean for Xandeum, for the chain that we are building? A fork of Solana, we're using the Solana code base, but it will have a scalable storage layer. So what does that then mean in the validation? So if we produced a block, that might not only include Solana accounts, but it might include the storage accounts that Xandeum provides that are offloaded to the storage providers, right? It's not part of the validators themselves, right? Because that's the whole point of the scalable storage layer. It's not all stored inside the validators as it is with any other L1 smart contract chain that I know about, but we're offloading it to a separate layer of these storage providers. And then we are creating zero knowledge proofs of the storage transaction, whether it be a read or a write, right? These are basically swap instructions that swap data from a Solana account to a Xandeum storage account or vice versa, right? So it's like reading or writing something, offloading it to that second level storage system that we're building as a second level, right? First level is the Solana accounts, and then second level is the Xandeum storage accounts that are stored in the storage provider nodes. So with all of that, the validators supervise the storage provider nodes. They generate zero knowledge proofs about the validators actually storing what they're supposed to store, and in the TVU, we will be validating that, right? So here's the thing now, right? With a plain Solana validator, this validator would not be able to validate a Solana, to validate a Xandeum transaction, right? So that's why it wouldn't be possible as of today to have like a cluster with a mixed set of validators, right? So we've seen that with Jito recently. They do a different thing. They don't do storage, they do MEV, but they do it with a mixed set of validators. So they put it onto Solana mainnet, and some of them have not adopted Jito. So they have the plain vanilla Solana validator, and some of them have adopted Jito, right? I think it's about 50-50 right now as compared to stake. So that would, and you know, with MEV, it's all about reordering transactions, right? That Jito doesn't add a new type of transaction that is completely out of scope for the Solana chain. It's only about reordering. So in the TVUs, even if you have a plain vanilla Solana validator, we could validate that the validators, we could validate that all transactions are okay and they can be replayed, right? Just in a different order. But for Xandeum, where we introduce new stuff, that's not possible on the Solana chain. We introduce transactions that use the Xandeum accounts. That cannot be validated by a plain vanilla Solana validator, right? So which means the Xandeum blockchain will run on its own cluster, right? With only Xandeum-enabled validators. And we will build that as our own chain. So in that respect, we're similar to a new L1, right? As always been announced. So we'll be one of these like Aptos, Sui, Sei that are out there. And Sei, by the way, super, super successful, even though they are just their own chain. They cannot build on an existing community, right? They started out a few months ago with a 300 million market cap. They are now at 2.5 billion. Can you believe it? So these all standalone L1s, they tend to be the highest market cap. So we're super excited to build that. We're doing it on the Solana code base at this point in time. So it could still be incorporated into Solana at some point in time. And we're keeping it, you know, backwards compatible so that it can be injected into the Solana chain anytime, but it has to be all validators or none. So we will see at some point in the future if Solana will adopt that for some reason. There's also a lot of commercial aspects to that. But as for now, we're building out that technology. We want to have our working prototype in like a May, June-ish timeframe. That's our goal. But it's just a goal, right? It's not a promise because, you know, it's something that hasn't been done before. So we might run into issues or whatever. But, you know, the plan is May, June, and then have a working prototype there and see how it all works with our own TPU and our own TVU that does all the work and interacts with all the PNodes. And we're building that PNode community as we speak. We already have 60 validators running in our DevNet, which is awesome. It's kind of larger than the Solana DevNet. And it's all community member. You know, some of them are run by us, but, you know, the majority of them is being run by the community, and that's awesome. We're so grateful for that community, and And yeah, we will have that PNode community as well, and have that whole baby running. And I'm super excited because it's such a big leap in the evolution of blockchain, right? There was a big leap when smart contracts were introduced, but now this leap of pushing the boundaries of smart contracts and having smart contracts being able to have their own storage, right? That is completely new, right? And don't confuse it with all the other chains that are out there that are just storage, right? It's like, yeah, that is standalone storage. None of these that I know, right? Arweave, Filecoin, SIA, SC Prime, you name it, right? They don't improve smart contracts to have a storage layer, right? They just do storage without smart contracts. And then it's your problem as a developer to bring it together with your smart contracts, and the smart contracts don't really offer a native functionality to connect with something that's not in that chain, and it's all really complicated and not scalable and all these type of things, right? So this is really, really a big leap. It's called Xandeum. If you haven't heard of it, check out the description, xandeum.com. Sign up for all our newsletters there. You'll see it in the top right of our website. Sign up for the email newsletter, for our X account, and sign up for our Discord. And get on the wait list for the PNodes, because the PNodes, the storage provider nodes that do all the storage for the validators, they are coming out soon. Get on that wait list. It's absolutely free to get on the wait list. There is an optional VIP wait list. It costs $6.90, so it's really affordable. And I promise you, if you want to run one of these PNodes, which runs on inexpensive hardware, you will get that amount, back in many times. So it is definitely a no-brainer if you want to be part of this project to get on the VIP waitlist. Yeah, don't forget to like this video, destroy the like button. I would really, really appreciate it, because it's super, super important for this channel and to grow our community. And leave me comments down there. Leave me comments about what other content you would like to see, any other questions for comparison with anything else that you've heard about, any opposing views that you might have, anything that I might have missed and I haven't heard of and should have been part of this video but wasn't, or of course just some general feedback on how great or subpar you found this video. Just leave it all in the comments. I would really, really appreciate it. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys next time, and peace.